Good morning everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. So today I wanted to have a look at the Viggora's chain mace. From what I've been reading, there's actually quite a few interesting training options with the Viggora's chain mace, so we're going to go ahead and buy one right now. Now the chain mace is one of the Remnant weapons that only requires level 60 attack to wear, and has similar bonuses to a dragon scimitar. However, the Viggora's chain mace also has a passive effect. When you have charged the chain mace with Remnant Ether, it will get an additional 50% melee accuracy and damage bonus versus NPCs in the wilderness. This means that the Viggora's chain mace has the highest damage output of any weapon in the game, I believe, as long as you are attacking an NPC in the wilderness. So because of that, there's actually some high tier strength training methods that you can use the chain mace for. There's a couple I want to try today. First up here, we're going to try it at Elder Chaos Druids. The reason I think this is going to be good is it's extremely AFK. The Druids have a fair bit of HP and it's a multi-combat zone. And there is an optional prayer altar to help you save on costs. And the other method I want to try is killing ankous or really any undead monster with the Viggora's chain mace, as you'll be able to stack the damage with the salve amulet on top of the Viggora's chain mace bonus, which should increase our max hit by a significant amount and our XP per hour with it. Now before I get started here, this is a dangerous method. We're in the wilderness, we're risking a fair bit of money, as you're going to lose around 200k every death just because of the chain mace, as you'll lose all of the ether in it, and you need at least 1000 to get the passive effect bonus. With that being said, let's get started. Now for the Elder Chaos Druids, I would recommend still attempting to maximize your prayer bonus, although there is an altar here. It will cut into your XP per hour, having to go to it so frequently, not to mention that the Druids can teleport you around, which is annoying. Now this is the gear that I brought: the Viggora's chain mace, the proselyte top and bottom, either the proselyte full helm or the helm of need is not, an amulet of torture, dragon boots, although that could easily be climbing boots if you don't want to risk as much, rune gloves, and a teleport out. There are definitely a few options here. I'm just trying to keep my risk around 300 to 400k, as we're losing 200k definitely when we die with the chain mace, as well as we're risking our inventory of potions. Now the prayer potions are definitely optional. You can go ahead and restore your prayer at the altar every time, in which case the prayer boosting gear is going to be even more important. However, I wanted to see what the maximum experience rates were here at my strength level, which is 90. So I'm not even max strength, and we're still getting around 120k strength experience an hour, which is definitely one of the highest in game. Now the Elder Chaos Druids actually do have a pretty decent drop table. If you do go ahead slowly and pick up the herbs, you could probably pay for a fair bit of your hourly costs, although in my opinion probably not worth it. I am slowly picking the Renars up if they are close, but I'm not really going out of my way to go ahead and grab them. Now eventually the Elder Chaos Druids will become unaggressive, in which case you can go ahead and reset the aggro either by teleporting out and back with the burning amulet, or just running a little bit to the north and back. After doing this for a while, it does seem like my experience rates were around 120k an hour. However, with 99 strength, you could probably look at getting around 130k an hour, which is definitely one of the best in game, especially considering how AFK you can be here. But of course, there is the trade-off of being a much higher risk method, and I think my max hit right here is around 48 or 49. So when I went ahead and did the Tarn's Lair mini quest a year ago, I forgot a really important thing, and that was to grab the stupid Tarn's Diary. So I had to wake up this morning and go run through this stupid piece of garbage again, and it took me an hour. I was getting so pissed off. I almost didn't even bother getting it. But yeah, we went ahead and got the Tarn's Diary. The purpose of it is of course to get the salve amulet E, which gives us a 20% damage bonus versus undead monsters, which we're going to go ahead and take into the wilderness. Now this damage boost should actually stack with the Viggora's chain mace. It doesn't stack with the Slayer helmet, however it does stack with the chain mace, so this should increase our damage, or at least our max hit, versus undead monsters to above 50 for sure. Now the undead monster I want to try to kill is ankous, as it is one of the easiest and highest hit point monsters that I can kill with the salve amulet. There are other options, but I think this will be the easiest. We can try it in the Remnant dungeon, where there are ankous in the other wilderness areas, which would be safer, although I think they do have less hit points. So let's try the Remnant Caves first, see how that goes, and maybe we'll move on to somewhere else if it is too busy. So as I was mentioning earlier, next up I wanted to try the Viggora's chain mace at an undead creature. So we're going to go ahead and go to the ankous in the Remnant Caves. Pretty easy to get here. We're just going to take the burning amulet to the bandit camp, and we're going to run north. Now our gear setup is slightly different. Now the reason for that is the salve amulet E actually takes place of one of our risk items before. So as a replacement, we're going to bring the Dragonfire Shield, as it does give a pretty decent strength bonus, and it will have some defensive bonuses just in case we do get attacked by a PKer. Otherwise, we're just bringing pretty similar stuff. Helm of Need is Not, Proselyte top and bottom, Dragon Boots, Rune Gloves, Vigorous Chainmace, and Arty Cloak 1, and actually we're bringing a Ring of Wealth just to have the teleport out. Now the ankous method is a little bit less AFK as they are spaced out quite a bit more. Now the aggro here is weird. They are aggressive, but they don't actually seem to aggro me very frequently. So yeah, it's not been working out so well. So this method is a little bit more click intensive. You need to pay attention. However, you are in the Remnant Cave in the wilderness, so you probably should be paying attention regardless. Now my max hit here I think is actually close to 60. I've hit a 59 so far, and I think 60 is totally doable. If I brought a little bit higher strength gear or had max strength, I think hitting 65s would be reasonable. Now as far as the experience rates go, it definitely seems to be noticeably higher right off the bat. If the ankous were closer together and aggressive the whole time, I think the experience rates would be in the 150 range for myself. I've even heard of people getting 160k strength experience an hour here with maximum strength gear. Now one thing I forgot to mention earlier is I am using Piety this entire time. I think if you're taking the risk of the Vigorous Chainmace and you're in the wilderness, you may as well be using Piety to get the most out of it. So we're going to go ahead and do this until our experience stabilizes, and we'll see how much on average you could expect to get here. Keeping in mind, once again, I am not max strength. Alright, so our experience has stabilized at around 133k. We're getting between 130 and 135k an hour. There's definitely room to improve just by paying more attention, aggroing the ankous in a better way. But yeah, 135k an hour strength experience is definitely one of the highest I've ever gotten. Compared to a regular strength training for myself where I'm normally getting 90k an hour, it is a significant boost in an hourly rate. And once again, it does come with a much higher risk. However, 400k risk, while it does suck to die with, it's not horrible, and anecdotally I haven't seen anyone yet at all. These locations are not extremely hot PKing spots, and with a little bit of skill and the proper tanking gear, you should be able to get out of most of these scenarios. However, it will have to come down to personally whether you think it's worth all the extra hassle to get the higher experience rate. Of course, you can always AFK Nightmare Zone for like 90 to 100k an hour or even more, but this is actually a significant boost. And the last training method I want to try with the Vigorous Chainmace is Wilderness Slayer, so we went ahead and grabbed a new task. Luckily we got Greater Demons, which is perfect honestly. We can just go back to the Remnant Cave, take the Vigorous Chainmace and the Slayer Helm, and we'll compare it to the other two methods. So for Greater Demons, once again we can go back to the Remnant Cave. The Remnant Cave is not necessary, it's just convenient. However, there will be more PKers here than average. So the benefit of Wilderness Slayer is of course the Slayer Helmet, where you can get a 16% damage boost versus any monster killing on a Slayer task. Now unfortunately this does not stack with the Salve Amulet, however it does stack with the Vigorous Chainmace. So as such, our max hit is only slightly lower than with the Salve Amulet. Now the benefit here is that we can now bring the Amulet of Torture, which does give us a significant DPS boost. However, the Black Mask is another risk slot, so I think overall this is going to be slightly worse than the Undead Monsters, as to get a higher strength bonus than when I was fighting ankous, I would have had to risk a lot more, like a 1 million GP plus, which isn't really a fair comparison. So we went ahead and downgraded a few pieces of our gear. So we got rid of the Dragon Boots and the Dragonfire Shield, and right now our risk is still around 300 to 400k. Now, of course, one major benefit here is we are getting Slayer experience, which means our total experience per hour will be quite a bit higher. We're currently getting around 35k Slayer experience an hour, which is good considering we're not using a cannon. And our strength experience an hour is around 130k. Now, the Greater Demons do aggro you, and they do a better job than the ankous were. However, to get the maximum experience an hour, I was still clicking on most of them. So we'll go ahead and do this for a little while until our experience stabilizes, and we'll see how it compares to the other two methods. So there we go, guys. We're getting around 125k to 130k strength experience an hour, as well as 30 to 35k Slayer experience, which is quite good in my opinion. Still one of the best strength experience rates in the game currently. So there are 3 different methods where you can get over 120k strength experience an hour, or even up to 140k with a higher strength bonus. Now personally, I liked the Elder Chaos Druid method the most, as it was extremely AFK, did not require too much clicking, and it's under level 30 wilderness, which means you can teleport out right away. So if you're paying attention, you should not really fear dying too much. However, the ankous method is actually a lot of fun as well, because the maximum hits are so large, and it's just entertaining to see yourself hit 60s or even more. Now, in the end, is it going to be worth all of the effort? I think possibly it is a significant boost in experience, especially if you are training an alt account or funding an account at level 60 attack. While you wouldn't be getting this high of an experience rate, it would still probably be one of the best experience rates in the game, and you'd be flying through those early strength levels so quickly. So I think it does have merit. I think there are circumstances where people may actually benefit from doing this, which I think is great. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any suggestions or anything else related to strength training you want me to check out, leave a comment down below. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.